That's allowed, isn't it?
Don't say that. Don't say that.
Some of them are. Oh wait.
Mate,
yeah. Remember the Tundra one with the spiderlings? Got added to the game.
Oh yeah, that's true actually.
So it depends on the command.
Some commands are allowed.
Yeah, it depends. Yeah. Oh, there's Dark Mago running up the high ground again. Sees collapse.
You know what Panda was telling me when he plays a Baron, he knows the exact range of the Photic Shield because he calculates that range every single time in his mind, and that's how he stays around Dark Mago. He just stays at that exact range for Dark Mago.
No matter what hero he's on, you mean? Like he?
Yeah, it doesn't matter what hero. Yeah,
I do that. I do the same thing with Pudge, where like if I hear an ability's length, I calculate in my head based on how many Pudge hooks that is, because Pudge hook is 1,300. There's a lot of abilities that are roughly around
so
that.
Do you calculate? Okay. So, like, if I asked you what's the distance between here and, say, Malaysia? How many Pudge hooks is that?
That's about 1,420,069 Pudge hooks.
Oh my god! That's correct!
Why'd you pull out your phone like people can see you doing a... You just can't help but do, like, physical bits, even though nobody can see them. He pulled out his phone as he was doing that. That's just for me. I appreciate that.
I'll calculate that on my phone. I think you were talking about. I took out the calculator.
No.
Anyway, this was a very... this was a
3-for-1 actually for Spirit.
You know what I call this is a wet tissue effort, where you're like, I guess we'll bounty runes.
Yeah, whatever.
Whatever. That was really odd. I don't know what Thunder was thinking about that, but they did lose this.
I'm interested to see how they play this lane up here for Thunder. Matthew has Circlet, Slippers of Agility, and he's sending out... Is he sending out a Wraith Band, or... no, he's sending out a Salve. I was going to say, he's a good support. He's sending out a Salve.
What's funny is that we also have a Salve from Sacred. He's also sending out his own Salve.
He knows he's going to take a lot of damage. I mean, I think that's a good idea against... I mean, Sand King in general, he's really bad in the first couple of levels, and you just want to get through. As Matthew finds the ward.
What do you think of the Salve meta? You do agree with this idea? Like, not conceptually, I mean, do you find that it should maybe be changed?
I think they tried to nerf it by making the salve duration longer, and it didn't work.
Yeah.
And so I think there's got to be some other change. I think there will be. They just didn't want to change that for the major because it's like a pretty integral part to how people are laning right now.
Maybe put a limit to how many salves you can buy, like with charges, like in the wards.
Yeah, you could do that. That would work.
Let's talk about the lanes again, Jenkins. I love doing this. Tell me about the lane matchups. We're going to start with bottom. Pakaz here with the Terrorblade of Adam versus IO Mars. Who wins this lane matchup?
This is definitely... I mean, any IO lane, you're always going to do fine in. But it's an IO lane with a Mars.
Yeah.
And he's got double nuke.
Yeah.
That's rough for TB. I think Pakaz is looking to basically...
Go to jungle?
He's going to go to jungle, and who's going to take the lane is Sacred on Sand King. Sand King's one of the best lane takers in the game, if not... Probably the best. He's the best lane taker in a game. So you want to hold the safe lane against Mars. I think that's always good. Like, Mars wants to get 6 and immediately uses ult to murder somebody. Doom as well. Like, against these heroes, you just put a Sand King, and it's such a pain in the ass to like run into the Sandstorm and get them.
For those who don't get it, what do you mean with a lane taker here? As an off laner, what does that refer to?
Basically, there's going to come to a point where the top lane for Sacred is going to be relatively free, which means somebody else can go up there and farm it. Bot lane becomes very difficult. And so Sand King just sits there in Sandstorm and pushes out the wave because it's the danger zone. As BSJ would put it, the dead lane. Like the place where if anybody goes, they're going to die. So a Sand King, because of Sandstorm, it's impossible to kill him. He's one of the few heroes that can take the dead lane. As we missed the kill, but it is a Mirana Sand King lane. We could probably take a guess how that happened.
Yes, exactly, which is why I leave it to the imagination. Let's look at the middle lane.
All right.
Pango Tiny, what do you think of this one?
Probably, I would say Tiny favored.
Yep.
But Pango can always shove out the mid wave. Mid's a little boring these days because most heroes that are good on mid can just like double nuke the wave and go grab water runes and jungle. So it's like,
is there even a winner, right? Unless it's a very bad matchup.
Yeah. If you die, then there's a winner. That's a way to win the lane. Holy shit.
Yeah, that was impressive. You know, that's what happens when you play this hero. I would venture a guess like Mao has like 3,000 games on Tiny, genuinely.
I think he was waiting for the shield crash to wear off too, right?
Yes.
Like, right at the perfect timing there.
Because he has the perfect calculation in his mind. He actually knows exactly how much damage it does. At every level.
Yeah, I mean, he plays enough of this hero, I believe it.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know the number, but he has a feeling based on the HP bars that they have.
Because like Mao can't count, but that's if we look at the top lane, who's the lane winner here? It looks like Mirana and Sand King are doing really well, but is that how the lane should be going?
Yeah. Yeah, eventually.
Okay.
Mirana SK, I mean, it's one of the classic, I just picked this because I want to win the lanes. Like, Sand King stun into arrow is almost a guaranteed kill on like anybody. Or at least like very efficient harass.
Do you think there's an advantage here over, say, the Hoodwinks because the Sand King stun with arrow is a bit stronger?
Yeah, here we go.
And Poshka gonna die. Yeah, so what do you think of that? Is it true that the Mirana just enables your lane harder than, say, Hoodwink? Because I like comparing the two a lot.
It's probably, in terms of the raw laning, I mean, Mirana's like probably a little bit favored in terms of kills.
Okay.
But not by enough to write home about. Where Mirana's better is what Matthew's doing right now, which is he's leaving.
Ah, yes.
And Dark Mago, he does have setup. So they picked a Mirana with actual setup on the mid lane too. So it's not like he just has to throw an arrow here and hope.
Yeah, Avalanche toss are going to do here. As the toss hits, the arrow's good, but the damage might not be sufficient. Toku trying to get the shield crash reduction. Not going to be enough. Another kill going the way of Thunder Awaken.
Yeah, he just used the swashbuckle too, so they know that that's down. He's not going to instantly swash out of that.
All right, we've gone through the lanes now, so I can free form now. Jenkins, what is this? Do you think there's an advantage in picking these like early kill kind of lineups when you just lost the first game? Do you think this gives you a bit of momentum and it recovers you mentally?
I mean, I've never thought about it before, but yeah, that sounds good. that sounds like pretty smart psychological stuff right there. You've been talking to Dr. K.
Yeah, actually, he gave me advice at TI.
He's awesome.
He is awesome.
I love him. He's one of my favorite guys.
He is one of my favorite guys.
I watch all of his videos. But
Yep.
no, that sounds like a smart strategy, like to regain confidence.
Panda. By the way, next time you can just go with it. You don't have to admit that you don't know it. I'll cover. Collapse is not going to die here. That Mago was really angry, so he threw it straight towards the end. But sometimes a fit of rage is not going to be enough to murder people. I learned that the hard way.
Now he's got to slowly walk back towards mid, but it's gonna get the rune on the way.
Oh, okay.
Sacred is cutting the wave up here, which is precisely why a lot of people enjoy playing Mirana with the Sand King. Is because he's worst case scenario, you can go cut the wave. Sand King's gonna farm a bunch.
Oh, no.
As he hits the arrow.
Yeah, Toronto Tokyo
There's nothing to follow this up.
does have a rolling thunder, and in fact Matthew
He's got no
gonna
leaps.
regret this. He's gonna hide behind a tree, but that tree won't protect you against the pangolin. However, what will protect you is Matthew's positioning. He miscalculated that slightly, and that's gonna condemn him to a swift death. Toronto Tokyo now is gonna suffer the wrath of the Sand King as the epicenter comes in, and Thunder
does he
Awaken
survive? No.
guarantees this kill as Dark Mago also murders Miposhka in the backlines.
With the Arcane Rune, he was just about on Toronto Tokyo to be able to get out there. Swashbuckle had like a 1 second cooldown left. Remember, that's an instant cast ability. You don't even have to turn to use it, so Arcane Rune almost saving him there.
That worked out nicely for Thunder Awaken regardless, right? Even if
Yeah.
the original kill went there. How important is the resource of the Rolling Thunder for the Pango in the early?
Less important this game because they have the Mars Arena to fight around as well.
Okay.
Once Mars is 6, of course.
Yeah.
Collapse has been splitting a lot of XP in the bottom lane with Mira, so he's not 6 yet. But yeah,
He's just
getting it.
Yeah.
This lane has been ditched. This is usually when a Sand King will consider going bot, as we see Dark Mago setting up for the arrow again.
Yeah, and Toronto Tokyo is once again in trouble. That shield crash gave 60% reduction. And that might just be enough here. Toronto Tokyo does get the Rolling Thunder off, which means they can't catch him any longer. Poshka even joins in, and they're here to punish Matthew, who's once again out of leaps. He does avoid it. Nice little juke there. But unfortunately, Panda did have to die for this. He either dies with Dark Mago, but you know he's the lowest in the pecking order. So if Matthew says die, he just goes.
Yeah. I want to say that the Possessed Mask saved Toronto Tokyo in that fight, because I think he hit 2 people with the Swashbuckle, and so he's getting 4 times 2 times 7. So he's getting like 100 HP or something like that back from just hitting people and life stealing.
Are you kidding me? 4 times 2 times 7 is 56.
4 times 2. I'm not gonna do the math.
It's
Whatever.
8 times 7. Okay, whatever. Dark Mago has a haste room picked up as they just killed Mira. Toronto Tokyo gets the shield crash, 48% reduction. I keep saying this because I feel like people don't concentrate on shield crash reduction enough. I think it's one of the biggest parts of the Pango, honestly.
I agree.
But I'm going to stop saying numbers because Jenkins will get confused.
I'm clearly very stupid. Yeah, I would not throw some. I'm from North America. I don't know if you knew that.
Is that NA math a real thing? Is it based on your education system?
Our math education is dog shit. I have a math degree.
Oh, you
Yeah.
do? I thought it was a CS degree.
Oh, that's a math degree.
Oh.
At least in Canada.
Ah, right.
So I'm just stupid.
Okay. Well, I minored in math, and then I flunked out of.
Oh.
Yeah. And then software engineering instead. So I'm clearly not a math.
Oh, I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
It's really awful. You know what? Going back to the players a bit. All right.
Who flunked?
I've talked to a lot of these players.
Yeah.
And I say, like, a lot of these players would be good engineers.
You know, Matthew's a university graduate. Sacred. He does get the sandstorm off, but unfortunately the dust reveals him, and Sacred accepts his death. Matthew actually met his current girlfriend in his university as well.
Oh.
He says that's the only useful thing he got out of it.
Oh, yeah. Well, that is what a pro Dota player would say.
It's pretty good, though. In fact, if you want to talk about university, Panda has a great story where it was very wholesome and genuinely. So Panda was going to uni in the beginning, right? And he told his parents, he's like, I think I'm really good at Dota. I want to try out a Dota career. And his parents said, that's fine. Just promise that if it doesn't work out for you, you'll come back to university. And he said, we promise. And so he played for 2 years. And after the second year, he managed to make a DPC. He told his parents said, we support you. Go ahead and continue living your dreams. And you'll go back to uni whenever you have time. No worries.
I thought that was a funny story. That just sounds nice.
Yeah, I said wholesome, not funny.
Oh, you said wholesome. I was expecting, like...
It's a genuinely good story.
And then
Panda's
like,
such a good guy that he's actually keeping another South American Dota player who has no house right now in his house.
Who?
Aretes. He gave him a home.
Oh.
And this guy helps his mom with shopping. And he cleans the house and stuff.
What a great character.
He's genuinely so noble.
Great character. I love his interviews. Yeah, his interviews.
It's very funny. Though
He's losing right
now. I will
now,
ask not for Panda today. If he does win.
If he does win.
Because it does not look that way. Team Spirit's looking very good.
Team Spirit's looking solid. Yeah, they're looking solid. Because is farming, though. Like, because is...
Who would you expect to win the early game if you just look at these two drafts? Like, who do you think has the advantage there?
It's two very solid lanes on the side lanes. You know, Mirana, SK versus the Collapse Mars and Io. So it's about a wash. It's about a wash. Mid's a wash too. Like one side lane's supposed to win for each side. Both carries want to go farm jungle.
You know, one of the issues I do see with sometimes the Sand King Mirana or any sort of Sand King kill lane, right, is that as the offlaner, what you kind of want to do is take the tier 1, right, and then you go gank. That's usually the play style.
Yeah.
But Sand King just doesn't do that. He's more a defensive offlaner.
It's slow, yeah. He holds the safe lane tower, which we didn't see Sacred doing in this game because...
He couldn't.
Well, we can see Maposhka's going to be doing it here because he stole the Sandstorm.
Clever.
So this is actually really cool. They're going to be able to hold this tower because this is the ability that makes it so that you can do that. And he has also another nuke to use on the wave.
Didn't you think, or would the play by Pakaz not been better if he had actually gone and tried to force that tier 1 top? Or do you think that was too dangerous for him because of the Mars timing?
It's pretty damn dangerous. It's pretty dangerous. Like I feel like he feels like he needs either some insane stats or like BKB to go fight. So maybe he'll go Scotty first. Maybe he'll go BKB Rush. I feel like BKB Rush is what you do on TB when you're screwed. Like you probably don't want to go first item BKB. It's just show up with a Scotty and
as we see an epicenter. Yeah, collapse as the armlet though, and he can continue to armlet toggle. Spears him out of the sandstorm. Arkmao, however, does not know the word back. He only moves forward. As we just see now, Toronto Tokyo stunned him 3 times, but Arkmao is not deterred. This man has an iron will, and he's going to show them what an iron bark tree can do.
Nothing's happening. Yeah, they're just doing nothing. Oh, I lied. Actually, he's tossed in on Yatoro.
That's why I know that Arkmao, there's the arrow on top of that. He's out of mana. The arena plus spear will stop Sacred for a second. Sandstorm's still going on, and Sacred will die regardless. And that's why the analyst said nothing's happening, because that was the right play. I do not know what the right play is.
And nothing's happening again. It looks like it did not work out for the old...
Are you tempting Arkmao right now?
That did not work out for the old toss in there. I can see why you go for that though, because like
yes, me too.
Tiny toss into Sand King Mirana. I mean, surely that'll work out.
I would agree.
It didn't. Medusa's too tanky with the Io sitting behind. Mira had a 20 stack, I think, of Holy Locket that was that big heal there. So Mira opting to go for the Holy Locket instead of the mech.
What do you think of that? Mech or Holy Locket? What's your preference here?
I hate IO players because they always talk about this shit, and I feel like it's just the same. Like they both,
heal is heal.
They're both healing items.
All right.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm not an IO player, but, you know, it is our job to
I hear IO players talking about this. I'm going to try the mech first this game. I'm going to try the Holy Locket first this game.
Oh, do they communicate this in the team chat for some reason?
It's like, shut up and just heal me. Like, I don't care. Because they're so bored just sitting attached to you. That's the only thing that they can talk about. So shoutouts to IO players for being a support, but
Okay, let's talk about other build that might be more interesting.
Okay.
We went back to Mars Armlet here for Collapse. I know he, quote-unquote, invented this build, but it is true that most players thought this build was too slow this patch. Do you think this is the right game for it? Like, what's the logic behind it?
I think with IO, this build always works.
Okay, okay, fair enough.
You want to sit in the lane and, you have the ability to move around the map quickly, either with the relocate or with just the IO movement speed in general, that, like, you can sit somewhere and farm and be slow and still be fast. Like, it's just not slow with IO. That's the thing. It's just not slow with IO.
Right, okay.
And then it lets you become a carry, which, obviously, if you can do that from the offlane without, screwing over your team, you want to do that.
And his lane was so strong, right, that he wasn't forced to go for double bracers, which allowed him to go for the armlet much easier.
Correct.
Right?
And when you have an IO, your lane almost always is strong enough. Like, you have the regen that you don't need the bracer first.
I like that.
Multiple bracers.
You can see everything, in all the small things in Dota are connected, and this are the small things that pro players really do think about that enable these different builds.
He's going in a Dark Go here.
Oh no, they've figured out Dark Mago. They know he doesn't know what backing out means, and Dark Mago will die as a result.
Just a quick little solo pickoff. I mean, we even saw this with Thunder Predator in the Liquid game that they won. Both games where they do get picked off. They do have, like, little map blunders. Like, they're team fighting for Thunder.
It's Dark Mago.
No, it's they. It was Picaz too.
Oh, okay, fair enough. Sorry.
It was something that I noticed with a lot of these guys.
Panda. This is a run into the South American aggressive style of Dota, right? You always play aggressive. You're always trying to force these fights. As a result, you do sometimes get picked off. But you're in arena.
Collapse is really in.
Yeah, he's trying to imitate Dark Mago, and it's kind of working out for him, but he will eventually die thanks to the epicenter. Here's the help from the Pangolier as Picaz gets a Sunder off Yatter. Oh god, now in trouble. Miposhka might be the first target as Miposhka barely survives this. The tree onto him. The Sunder stolen by Miposhka. Screwed over Dark Mago a little bit here. The IO will come back solo for sure. They toss back the Rubik. That's punishment from Dark Mago as they get both kills they were looking for. And in fact, Team Spirit, they messed up. They bring back Yatoro. Sacred, though, has no stun, so Yataro's capable of going away. However, Dark Mago is on the hunt. He has the toss, and he tosses back Yatoro. Now with a burst strike, buyback from Rubik. Miposhka is ready to fight this, but he's too late, and the Avalanche actually punishes him. So he's gonna die back. Carry dying in front of him, Jenkins.
That was a big blunder from Team Spirit there. That is not something that you see this team doing. These are the TI champions.
Yes.
I mean, they
underestimated how much Thunder Awaken could do in that fight, right?
They did, and we talked about it before. Like, Thunder Awaken, they have map problems sometimes. They'll walk in, they'll die, they'll get caught out. They're not a slouch of a team when it comes to team fighting. Like, their positioning, the way that they have these tossbacks, the double stun into double stun, and then this is just free. You're like, okay. And then, look, I like this. Dark Mago, instead of going for Mira, who's the free kill and clearly baiting, he's like, no, dude, you brought your carry back in. We're killing him. We don't give a shit about you. We want the carry. We want the big kill.
I like that, too. Top lane, we do see Matthew dying, hitting himself towards the arena. Don't worry, just a support kill. But you know what I like as well is that I think Team Spirit's used to playing a lot of more... I think if you play a lot of the European teams, actually, this happens, where there's some moments of hesitation, where there's like a misfire, they don't know entirely if they can poke and prod, they kind of somewhat stay there. That's not the SA way. They either go all in or they don't go at all. There's no middle ground for them. Yeah. And that's where Team Spirit kind of got screwed over.
And then they TP back in, and then they go when they respawn.
Again? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And you're like, oh, this team looks like they have infinite buybacks. No, the team fight's been so long that they've actually respawned for a third time.
Indeed, yeah.
No, that's Beast. Sorry. Thunder Awaken go for a smoke here. Dark Mago, of course, not smoked. This feels, like when someone in your team feeds, but the rest of your team is committed to like playing with him.
Toronto Tokyo gets caught.
What they're doing. Toronto Tokyo does get healed though. That's the Holy Locket. Ended up mattering a fair amount. That Diffusal Blade also a huge deal, but they avoid Toronto Tokyo at the very least in the beginning. I think this is the moment where Thunder Awaken should retreat.
They re-smoked.
Okay, there's no such word in the vocabulary.
This is either going to be really cool.
This is by the way a South American smoke. This is something they do a lot. They lose a fight and they smoke again and they try to go for another objective.
Dude, Spirit, they are sniffing this out though. Like they predicted this.
Matthew's positioning is good, but this will be really dangerous. As they do find Collapse, though, can they burst him out in time? There is a double damage on Tiny, but Collapse gets healed once again by Mira. That Holy Lucky will keep him alive just long enough to get the arena, and in fact, long enough to walk out of it. Thanks to that Stone Gaze as well, Thunder Awaken cannot kill off Collapse, who comes back in for the last hit on Sacred. Sacred's down, but Mago is the only man left, and soon he'll be dealt with as well. Team Spirit. They destroyed Thunder. Classic SA Roche, man. Objectively speaking, South America loses the most games by going to Roshan.
I'm just mind blown by both of these teams because I think the Roche play is really cool because who in Gaben's name is going to expect that? You just screw up a smoke and then immediately re-smoke off of that to go to Roche. And I get it. It's because you know that Spirit is, they're all bot, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you can think you can go for the Roche, but then Spirit with no vision, they expect it.
Yep.
So either they've done their research or their game sense is insane. And I would imagine it's probably the latter. Definitely both. Yeah, definitely both. But I'm leaning more towards the latter just because it's Spirit.
Sure.
Like, these guys are just good at Dota. They're just good.
They are. I think it's wild, though, that Thunder would try that. I agree. Especially against Team Spirit, right? I think there's more passive
Who's going to expect that, though? I think it's even wilder that Spirit is like, yeah, they're going to go re-smoke into Roche after using everything.
That is a very wild
Who's thinking about this shit? It's wild.
Yeah. So this is actually, it made them look like a bad play, but it's actually just levels of Dota on top of each other, right?
It's cool. I love this. I love this stuff. This is where Dota gets cool.
I agree. And this also shows, by the way, from Team Spirit, the utmost respect to their opponents, right? Like, acknowledging that their opponents could go for something as crazy as that.
Yeah.
Is showing a lot of respect towards Thunder, who's been doing well this group already.
Yeah. I think that's a mistake that teams are not going to make against Thunder after the Liquid series.
No, that's for sure.
If they did the least amount of research on Thunder before that series, they're going to put more time in.
Or when they scrimmed them, because from what I know, they've been doing really well in scrims.
I've also heard that.
Won't reveal scores, that's unfair, but it's good.
Yeah,
they're
6 and 9 in scrims, I think.
That would be good, right?
Be nice.
It's be 9 and 6 is what you're talking about. Murata?
The stolen arrow, love that.
Love that. Poshka has been getting some good steals this game as well.
He has been, as a pathetic position 5, which is quite impressive.
I was about to point that out as well. Like, Ruben position 5 feels like, you know, you're trying to find a needle in a haystack.
You are. I mean, he has mana boots, Etherland's recipe. That's his build.
Yeah.
He's absolute poverty mode right now and still doing cool stuff. So good for McPoshka. They get a tier 2.
Is this EU or America? He's pulling himself from his bootstraps, you know?
He really is. Although now he has the ether lens, so he's bougie.
He's bougie now. He's privileged. No longer can we praise him.
No.
As Pandamu, who is poor, in fact, the poorest hero of the game.
He's got that fly. At least he's got a hat. he's warm. Some shoes.
I was not expecting that. All right, let's stop this analogy before we get canceled. He does have a borrowed time, so he's not a good hero to go against. Anyway, Moonlight Shadow, he's going to be the one giving vision, but they're going for the better targets. Bakashi, Madman, takes the illusion rune, thinks he can fight around this. They're going to go for the IO first, and in fact, it will be successful. IO is dead. Collapse, though, still has the arena, and he closes in Sacred. Also Pandamu. That's going to be 2 quick kills for them as Pakas retreats. He has the Sunder, however, but does not want to use it. He might be forced to. Toss back or toss in for the Sunder. He gets it. Yadro God is in trouble now. He's very low on HP. Still has full mana, but it's not going to matter. They take his HP down before they get rid of his mana pool.
All right,
the
Collapse.
rest of Team Spirit collapse around him. Collapse is still there. They toss him. Collapse gets the kill on Matthew, but he knows Kami-sama Yadro will fall here. Unless they have no stuns.
No, he won't. He's just going to TP out. Oh, my God.
I can't believe it.
Okay. Wait. All right. Sacred Arrow was down. I wanted to say Collapse killing Matthew was impactful, which it was.
Yes.
It was. He got the kill.
It was good.
A little bit of extra, makes that fight less of a disaster, but the arrow was not on cooldown. So, or the arrow was on cooldown, so he would not have been able to arrow TP cancel there.
Yeah,
anyway.
You know what happened there, actually? They combined Toss and Burst Strike, and they lost it like 0.6 seconds, which honestly, Toss was almost off cooldown as well. I think that would have been a big deal there. Yeah, 0.6 seconds of damage there would have mattered a lot.
Great call from Yutaro, knowing, though, that he has the HP to TP in front of all of these heroes. I mean, him surviving, that fight was absolutely disastrous for Spirit. Or it could have been if Yutaro goes down there, but, Thunder Awaken, they do get the Aegis. This game is...
It was not bad.
Yeah, the game is quite close. This is a very close game, even though the gold lead is 5k.
Yeah.
It's like, TB is one of the few heroes that can 1v5 if he's top net worth, and Pakaz is. So...
As usual.
Yeah.
Of course, Deuce is the other hero.
That's the other hero. That's the other hero. Yeah, exactly.
So now it really is a question of how well the rest of the Thunder Awaken Team Spirit, particularly the poorer heroes like Toronto Tokyo or Sacred, can do with less items, right? What they can accomplish with that is going to be a major deal. As Toronto Tokyo gets found out in the bottom lane, that Mago plus Matthew, they managed to catch him. But he's been cutting lanes, and this allows Team Spirit to take a tier 2 mid, which makes their ability to choke down Thunder easier.
Sacred draws the arrow. He's right. That is exactly where Spirit is going.
Was that an arrow?
It was a half-assed attempt at an arrow. It was a line.
It was a line. Okay.
But that is the line where Spirit is going, walking back into their triangle.
That game sense. Yeah.
Yep. And with that arrow, they know. Oh no, they're looking in their own jungle. They're not going to find anybody here.
Yeah. I mean, that was. I think they know they were in the triangle, but they also thought if we go there, we die. That Mao was luckily in the fountain, because otherwise he would have just
been out the high ground and dead. Yeah, he's almost at his BKB on Dark Mago, so I think just hit some creeps for once in your life.
The thing is, he does love hitting creeps though. That's the worst part, right?
Yeah.
Tiny is the only hero he plays that he doesn't hit creeps on. But like, you ever watch his Kunkka?
Yeah, I have.
You know, Matthew was telling me that for the first year, when he first joined the team, his first 6 months was just telling Dark Mago not to buy Radiance on Kunkka. And they would play games, and he would give him Kunkka.
The moment you say Dark Mago Kunkka, I just think of him having a Radiance.
Right,
like, I literally imagine that
he would buy it every game,
Yeah.
and Matthew would like slap him. He would play pubs, and he would watch him play pubs, and he would slap him every time he saw the Radiance. And eventually, he slapped the Radiance out of him.
Slapped it out of him. I see.
Yeah.
I see. I feel like on the flip side, like Collapse always buying Armlet on Mars. That's one of those things that could have been slapped out of him if it turned out to be bad.
Yeah, it was
it's like
really good.
It's like, bro, you gotta stop trying to be a carry from the offlane. Then he just actually starts carrying games, and it's like, okay, maybe we're onto something here. All right. And also, he goes for the the Strength Blink into like Refresher Orb, and just plays to just do a ton of combined magical and physical damage. It's just this like ridiculous scaling late game build, like team fight scaling. You know, it's almost like a Mars late game is like an Enigma with Black Hole.
Yeah.
You have all these arenas dropping and physical damage going out, and spears flying everywhere. It's crazy.
But the credit is also partially to Yadaro, who I think, to me, was the reason why I think he was so good was because he really played well on these small timings that carries get, and they would go fight like once or twice, and he would make space for his offlaner in some situations as well.
As in we're talking about like the time of TI, like why they were above the other teams by such a I agree.
Even though I would say he still is one of the top
they're
carries.
still. I mean, this is still a god tier team. They're TI winners. Like they might, they could just as easily win the next one.
Exactly. I always speak in past tense because every second is in the past, right?
That's true.
The moment I utter the word, it's already in the past.
Yep, Panda is slowly going down here. Quite healthy still. Not anymore.
No, that collapse made sure of that. Tarantoki wasn't really needed that much. He went directly for the axe after the Diffusal Blade. Usually we see a lot of Pangos going Blink second, but they kind of know they don't need more initiation. He will go for it eventually.
This does make sense to me in this game for Toronto Tokyo building like this, because I feel like if you've Medusa versus TV, we've seen how these fights have gone. Like, we've seen what happens when you just let the Terra Blade sunder the Medusa, and all of a sudden she goes down. She doesn't look as tanky anymore.
Yeah.
You need another carry.
Yep.
And he's got two. Collapse and Toronto Tokyo are both building to scale in the game. And so it's not just on the Medusa to 1v5 here. If it was just the Medusa 1v5ing, I'd be super worried for Spirit, even though they have a 6k gold lead. But because they have the Pango and the Mars, it's not just that 1-for-1, like, in a vacuum matchup.
Oh, Pakaz has BKB and TP here. He has to use it if he needs to use it, unless Dark Mago is gonna cover him. Okay.
Yeah,
that might be Dark Mago's death. He's the one who uses his BKB. That was an interesting choice, right? Like, Dark Mago said, no, I'll use my resources. You keep yours, Pakaz. You gotta carry us.
Also an interesting choice from Pakaz to run up that high ground and just start hitting the hard camp there. Like, it seems like a bit of a misread on Spirit. They thought Spirit was gonna run up towards the other direction.
Yep.
Or just Greed just being like, I'm gonna farm this camp because they're not gonna get here in time.
It's true, when you could have just sent an illusion right there as opposed to getting the hero.
Yeah, that makes me think maybe it's like a map thing. They had a read on Spirit. They thought they would run towards the other direction.
Yep.
There's not that great a vision coming out from either team right now, like only one ward each, which does often happen at this point in the game because both sides just sweep across and de-ward a lot and then, you know, hold a ward rather than, like, you know, running back to wards that are still alive. Like, you leave a ward at this point in the game, it gets de-warded.
As a TV, it's also very important that your hero's always present where he's farming to a degree, even if your map gets destroyed, right? TB, illusion heroes in general, when they only farm with illusions, they really fall back in experience. And the fact that Pakaz and Yaroro are at the same level is really impressive for Pakaz.
Yeah, it's true. He's getting a lot in fights too. I think that's a bit like he's 5-1 and 3. When he does show up, he's actually getting kills, and a lot of the time it's after his team is dead, so he's not splitting XP with other people. I think that's
a very good point.
So yeah, you're totally right though. Like usually you do see illusion heroes pretty far behind, especially like something like Naga Siren.
Yep. Yes.
Where you have like so many illusions clearing so many things.
Especially when you're losing, right? You can't really make plays. You're like,
yeah, you don't want to put your hero out. It's like, just too dangerous.
What is it? How we called it? Ghost push.
Who?
I think called it ghost pushing.
Did he? He's got good. I mean, obviously he's got great concepts.
I agree. Torn Tokyo. Okay, there is a great arena here, but they all have BKBs this time, so they'll be able to get out. As Pandamu, unfortunately, he's still stuck. Sacred will die in the middle of his epicenter. Kind of a questionable play here. As Team Spirit realizes, Epi does nothing.
Everybody has BKBs on both sides.
Also, it's what? Level 3 Epi, minute 30? I don't...
Yeah, not so useful.
Did he go for the pulse damage? Oh, he's not even there yet.
At this point...
Oh, that's not there. Sorry, that's the low talent.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, like, no matter what talents you're going for, a Sand King is... I mean, especially in the offlane, like, a Sand King's about hitting double burrows.
Yeah.
That's what you're going for. Hitting double burrows, having your carry, like, chip away at somebody.
I guess he was trying to distract them. That was partially the idea. Like, he was like, I need to tank and I need to be a threat. You
can go on backliners and still kill them with Epicenter. So maybe he's looking for some, like, Rubric or IO action. Because IO is coming in, like, Mira's coming in with the saves in a lot of these fights. Like, if you can catch the IO with a Sandstorm, Burrow, and Epicenter, IO will still die.
Yeah, that's a good one.
At least be pressured.
You think IO will die, though? Because
Pakaz?
They go for relocate down bottom. Pakaz.
Ooh, nice try. Really nice try.
They use the Stone Gate as well. But Mao's thinking, do I have to die for my carry here? No.
He's too damn fast. He's just running.
He is. He has a Silver Edge completed now as well. And Thunder Awaken, in typical fashion, they see an opportunity to re-engage, and they will take it, but this was not the time. I like how quick Team Spirit is on retreating. They're kind of understanding how Thunder likes to play.
Yeah,
but
they're...
What? Pakaz? He's found Mira.
Oh.
He's found Mira. Can he kill him? Tether's available.
Oh,
and the Avalanche!
That was smart. That was sick. That was sick.
That was really good.
Dude, that was on like the last tick of Avalanche,
Yes,
too.
it was. Yes, it was. And that's actually why Mira was holding on to the Tether, by the way. He knew the Avalanche was happening there.
Yeah. But he just had the coverage.
Sorry,
very smart.
Sorry for the clapping, by the way, if you heard it on stream. I'm Spanish. My hands literally just do this by accident.
You flail around. It's
I don't mean to do that.
Quite aggressive.
I realized, if you tie my hands, I can't speak properly.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, so nothing changes. Got you. Just kidding. You're an excellent caster. I love working with you.
That was good. I'll take that. I don't care. Daedalus is going to be the build for Dark so let's talk about what you said about Tiny, right? No more do we see the E-Blade Tinies.
No.
It's going to be full damage. Do you think the Ags is worthwhile this game?
I would love to see it.
Right? I think the buff was good.
The buff is definitely good. I think it's underrated. I mean, I've not seen it in a pub. I've not seen it in any game. It theoretically sounds good, but a lot of the time you read patch notes and something sounds good, it's just absolute dog shit. Every time I read a patch and Pudge gets changed, I feel like it's going to be good, and then it turns out to have an even lower win rate than it does before somehow.
Yeah. And somehow there's some things like, oh, plus 10 damage on Dragon Knife Breathe Fire, and then all of a sudden that's the best change of the patch.
58% win rate on Dragon Knight. Yeah, it's going to kill me. Please just kill me slowly. Make it painful.
Yeah.
Living is more pain than a slow death at this point. Collapse.
Sorry.
They find Marana. Catches him with the lift.
Matthew,
he has no leaps.
He's usually balding, but now he's mauling.
The one thing he does have going for him, though, is the creep wave is not there yet. And they're going to go for a toss back.
Okay. A bit dangerous. Matthew actually has the buyback. This could be a good bait. Yatoro in trouble. As Yatoro, low on mana, still has the Aegis, though, which means... Yeah, Thunder Awaken can't fully commit to this kill. BKB plus Stone Gaze has been used. That makes the first life a bit juicier because they could kill him and then force it again, but the relocate sends him back. Collapse. That was the only target for Sacred. Sacred will die. No two-man burrow for him. As Matthew, he himself is in trouble. The arena finally comes out. Matthew will die a second time together with his partner support. And has 3 heroes dead, none of which have buyback here. Team Spirit can take probably a free lane of Rags.
That was just S-class composure from Team Spirit.
Yes.
Medusa gets tossed in. Nobody freaked out. Not even Mira went in on the IO because they knew that Yatoro, with Aegis, with Manta, with the effective HP that he has, all of these tools, he's fine. And because of this Thunder Awaken, they're done. Like, that's basically it. That's basically the game. They tried to go for this play where they introduced this chaos and Spirit maybe overdives, and all of a sudden IO, like Mira on IO or Miposhka gets caught out, but no. Like, they kept their composure. They didn't dive at all. They just stood at the tier 3 and, yep, Yatoro's gonna be fine. We'll wait for him to walk out of this one, and he did.
I love the choice of Yatoro as well, of using the BKB on the first life, right? Something that a lot of carriers are starting to learn to use, right? Don't just wait till the Aegis is gone, because that always seems like the right play. But instead, deciding to fight on that was very, very intelligent.
Because it's like, to me, if he just BKBs and walks out of that like he did, you run to your team, all of a sudden you're 5v5ing with an Aegis with this massive gold lead.
Exactly.
That's what you want. Even without a BKB, you can still get a hard reset with the BKB. And they're just doing a relocate back to base to purchase a smoke and to just get some resources here.
Something Team Spirit does very well as well is the idea of, like, forcing baits almost, right? Like, they know when a team is overextended, and they just punish that immediately. It's not over just yet, though. But they are waiting for Dark Mago. They need him. And we only took 1 lane of Rax in a tier 4. Team Spirit realized, oh, Dusa doesn't push that quickly.
Bakaz does not have Metamorphosis for 90 seconds, though.
Yeah, that's true.
He had used it. So, Team Spirit, they smoke up. This is why they bought the smoke in base. They feel like without meta,
it's easy
any
win.
pick off right now, any start that they can get is a good one.
Oh, yeah, what do they call this? So, when you stagger deaths, right? So you make it so, like, you stagger the cooldowns and the deaths, and, like, if you kill, say, Dark Mago and there's no Metamorphosis, all of a sudden there's no way they fight.
Like bleeding, like that's what usually make them bleed.
Oh, is that what they call it?
Sounds very vulgar.
All right. Sacred.
Violent.
He does have the BKB. Go Blink Dagger as well. Panda move. Well done.
Yeah.
But he's dying far away from his team. That TP, Panda, you must be on something, dude. To think that TP was ever going to complete.
I love the Psychic Advance. He's going to waste some more time.
He is. He's wasting a lot of time.
This is good space.
Go Panda.
He was Murata ulti. Nah, there's too many blinks. Glass is godlike now.
Yeah. I think he was hoping that by calling himself Panda, people would leave him alone because they are a endangered species, but...
I'm distracted because I heard the voice again. I don't know, is that an announcer that's on somebody's... Where's that voice coming? It's not, I don't see a chat wheel, but I heard some demonic voice. What? Is it Mars?
Sorry, are you hearing that in your head? You hear that only when playing Dota?
Am I... oh god, Dark Mago's caught out.
He has BKB TP, but not the time to use it. Oof. He does have buyback at least.
He does, and also he dies in the enemy triangle. So,
and they think they can actually turn this into a kill as they come back with a Dusa. They gotta kill Mira first, and they will actually go to Yatoro instead. Mira's gonna heal him. It won't matter. The Scotty stopped that completely, as Mira will die to the Spirit Vessel. Dark Mago just did a huge bait there.
That was a big debate. Kudos to whoever the hell on Thunder Awaken called to go for that play there.
I can tell you, it's Matthew.
It was probably Matthew.
It's 100% Matthew.
Most likely Matthew. But that was an amazing call. Like, Spirit, they kind of slowly like walked their heroes towards Dark Mago in the triangle.
Yep.
So like none of the other heroes were there to support the Io and the Medusa when they got relocated back in.
Got in. Damn, Panda's just deciding.
Oh my god, he knew. He knew that he did enough damage. That's so funny.
Well, Panda did set up for a potential hero on collapse. There's a shard on Rubik, not going to do anything as Pakaz is ready to fight
gem.
In melee form.
You just gave a gem away for that.
Miposhka, sorry, that was Spanish. Miposhka is in trouble right now. He did steal Epicenter.
All right. Okay.
That's actually probably the worst spell to steal now.
Spirit is crumbling. Like,
yeah, they are.
Like, dude, that's 9k gold that just swung. And that's
a gem.
And a gem. And that's not even considering that the map has not shifted at all. Like, Thunder still can push out all the waves. Roshan may respawn in 5 seconds, and they're still going to be collapse dead for 60. They're going to get a tier 2. Like, they've not consumed the farm on the map. Like, we're going to... This is going back to almost even. Unfortunately for Thunder Awaken, Roshan is up in 2 minutes. But there's a double damage right in front of the Rosh pit for Pakaz. Like, this is just good scouting. And they hit the arrow, too, not on the Io, but on the Medusa, which gives them enough time to just focus.
And this is usually something that we said from Team Spirit a lot, right? Their plays with vision, how well they're at scouting, and Thunder is executing that against them.
Yeah, they're making them bleed here. This is starting to look like another Thunder Awaken comeback game, dude. I don't know. I mean, this team, like, what a stressful team to watch. Like, I can only imagine how stressed they are. I mean, they're definitely having a good time, but like their heart rates are up there. We need heart rate monitors in Dota.
They actually hired a team psychologist because of that.
Did they?
Yeah, because both Panda and Matthew would have sometimes anxiety attacks in the games.
Oh, like actual panic attacks.
Yeah, actual panic attacks.
Damn.
Yeah, and so they hired a psychologist who's been helping them through this all year, and Panda has been speaking wonders.
Wow.
He apparently goes to like the psychologist like once a week. You know,
Bro,
and
teams that actually give a shit about psychology do well.
Yeah. There's not a sports psychologist, by the way. This is a legitimate psychologist who speak about the problem.
Hey, what the hell is a sports psychologist not legitimate? How dare?
Because they don't have a degree.
They only 1, 2 TIs.
No, I don't mean that. I mean like this is a psychologist like that usually just for helping people that have
Yeah, no, I get it. I'm just messing with you.
All right.
DD on Pakaz though, like it's. Yeah, it's a full duration.
Collapse. Okay, that BKB does save him. That's Metamorphosis used as well for Pakaz. But the arena, Sacred kind of stuck inside of it. In the Sandstorm, doesn't want to lose it. Pandamu a bit lost in the middle of this fight. Collapse was not the best target. Second arena used. And now there's no BKB on Pakaz. The Sundew won't come out in time. 100 seconds without this Terror Blade. Panda thought, well, if he dies, I die too. And it's going to be 2 heroes lost. Only in exchange for Mira. Not worth it for Thunder. Oh, he doesn't have buyback because he doesn't have gold.
Yeah, he's got, wow.
That's way too far.
That's a lot of gold that he needs to have buyback.
Yeah.
Oh my God, look at he's like 2,000. Like, surely he's close. Nope, he's 700 away. This is just when you're a 33k gold massive carry. How much buyback cost is insane.
Let's go, Darkmago. Let's see what he can do to delay this. Oh no, Miposhka's here. Darkmago's quick on the blink. Miposhka played against... Miposhka has collapsed on his team. If they ever do the dual lane thing, they know.
Did they just sack this? I think they just sack.
They do.
They might sack Megas, though, if they...
I mean, what other option do you have? Throw the game?
Spirit pokes a bit. They realize their damage is not that much. They back off. They also don't know if he has buyback or not. That's probably why they back off, I would imagine.
Yeah, because with a tiny that can toss you back, right? You can
get tossed back into Medusa dying and not...
Yeah.
And then Roshan is up, so you lose Roshan, you lose the game. Or at least the game gets really difficult. And also, they have an Aghanim Scepter on this Rosh, so who should take this? It's pretty good on Medusa.
Yeah, I'd say Dusa, right? Who else would you want it on? Definitely not the Io, not the Mars.
Not Collapse. Rubik Ags is not that bad. You get 2 spells.
That's the other one.
But then it's your position 5. Like, screw that. That's... Wait, who'd they give it to?
No way, Mira's taking it.
What is it? What does that even do?
The Spirits? Okay, it's Miposhka. That makes sense.
Oh, they're actually giving it to Rubik. Okay, well, I was gonna say he's the position 5, so this seems like a little bit of a risk, but this is an insane Ags if you do have it on Rubik. He's actually pretty farmed too. He has enough gold for another item if he wants one.
And because you have Sanking in this game, right? There's still in that Burrow Strike alone is worth the Ags, right?
Yeah, he can get Burrow and the Aphotic Shield at the same time.
Oh,
Morana Arrow or the Aphotic Shield at the same time. It's really good.
Imagine he steals borrowed time and Burrow. Rubik is the actual tank in this game.
Yeah, that would be really solid for initiating. Not that they really need it.
No.
They have Collapse, which, by the way, in that last fight, insane play from him. Just completely nullifying Pakaz. Yeah, both times the arena on him. Just preventing Pakaz from like hitting people outside of it, even. Made his life a living hell. And he had DD, so there's no other way to win that fight other than Collapse doing exactly that.
I think the only chances Thunder Awaken have of winning these fights, though, is the tossback. But they know Yadaro has an Aegis, so he's not a good tossback target any longer. We do have AC.
Oh, I like that Sphere from Collapse. He's looking for the potential Sphere on a Sacred, who's just a little bit farther in the trees. But if they catch him there, he just dies to Yatoro.
Yadaro will take the Rex. That Mao clears the creep wave, but they know they can't do anything. They can only be patient here. So instead, of fighting the high ground, which is a bit difficult. I'm going to do smoke to do a wraparound. That's pretty clever. I think this might be their best play, actually.
Catch the backliners, catch Miposhka or Mira at the start, and the fight definitely gets a lot easier. You are not killing Collapse. It's impossible.
No.
Maybe Toronto Tokyo can die, but he's itemized really nicely. He's got Shiva's Guard, so he's sitting on like 37 armor. So he's very tanky. You have to get the Io or the Rubik.
I think Rubik might be
Rubik ideally, yeah. He's sitting on this Ags now.
Yeah.
And he's got, 1,600 HP. Like, you can solo him as a TB in like 2 hits.
Yeah. IO is a bit of a nuisance, and since you have Scotty anyway, like whatever you're hitting, the IO won't be as impactful.
Yeah, you've less impact on focusing the IO. You can just focus the IO target. They also have a Shiva's Guard soon onto Sacred, but he's saving gold for buyback. Which I think makes sense. Like, in this next fight, a life is going to be more important than an item. Like, you're going to have to... Yeah, a smoke also makes sense. They commit everything for this last fight.
All right. Check out that Mao. There's the toss back we were talking about. But Yadaro has the age. Just that Mao might be regretting this right now.
Nice arrow.
That's going to be his first life, most likely going down. And there we go. He still has buyback, though. That's why I said first life. Not that he has an Aegis. Bakaz running away from the Rolling Thunder. The initiation by Sacred. They're going for the Rubik. And they almost killed the post, but he's barely alive. Bakaz forced to swift blink in. Now going for the Deuce. And more activated. Bakaz is fighting Collapse head on, but Collapse is tanking this nicely. Still has the cheese on him. Bakaz is just waiting for the Deuce to respawn. The second arena, second spear. No time for the Sunder. Bakaz will come back, but there's going to be no metamorphosis. As Dark Mago is just trying to stay alive. Blink Dagger in a second. Cancelled by Toronto Tokyo. Dark Mago getting rid of Collapse with that toss.
It's a 5v5. They're all alive now.
He wants to fight us with melee, but Sacred, he is gonna die first. Panda move, giving the rampage to Yadaro. Bakaz in trouble. No axe, no second meta, no Sunder either.
Double rampage?
Goodbye! Double rampage, Thunder Awaken.
Go for the triple, baby!
Owned
Give him
by
the triple!
Team Spirit. Rampage upon rampage upon rampage. As the 2-0 goes to the TI winners, Team Spirit. With a slight smile from Miposhka. Much like Fear, this is the most we'll ever see